animal cruelty, particularly animal experimentation for science and industry or vivisection, is completely unnecessary, inefficient, dangerous, and harmful. It is also immoral and downright cold-hearted. Do you all know what happens in vivisection? Are you aware of the conditions the animals live in and the alternatives to animal testing are? Animal testing is the use of animals in biological, medical, and psychological studies. Animals are having drugs forced down their throats, and even if a normal amount of it causes no damage, they often die of the overdose. It causes harm to the environment and economy as well. According to news.org, estimates for global annual use in research and testing are variable, with the most comprehensive estimates ranging from 115.3 million to 126.9 million non-human vertebrate animals. Both estimates are considered conservative. NIH research labs in Maryland spent more than $500,000 on food for the animals for just 18 months in 2012 and 2013. Also, all the decaying animal carcasses that are just disposed of carelessly cause major damage to the environment. According to the same source, billions of animal bodies, many of which are contaminated with toxic or hazardous chemicals, viruses, infectious diseases, etc., they are discarded after use in research and testing every year. These contaminated animal waste products are multi-hazardous and contain a combination of chemical, radioactive, and or biological hazards. Animal testing can obviously cause harm to human beings. The drug or product can work completely fine, but then when humans use it or take it, it can cause benign to severe damage. Additionally, a drug could have a totally negative impact on an animal, but could save a human being's life. But it won't, because the scientists will provide it due to the pointless and inefficient experiments on these animals. Moral implications of this testing are shocking as well. How can one subject living beings to experiments that may hurt or kill them? Human beings should never be breeding innocent animals who are just trying to live their normal lives for the sole purpose of scientific research and animal exploitation. All creatures should be able to enjoy life without the constant fear of torture and exploitation. Life should not be created only to be harmed or terminated. Okay, let's debunk some common myths regarding animal experimentation. 1. Every major medical advance is attributable to experiments on animals. Simply put, this is plain false and utterly misunderstood. This was analyzed by the highly esteemed Journal of the Royal Society of Medicine, who concluded that it was unsupported by any evidence. Numerous studies have indicated that most experiments on animals are completely irrelevant and unreliable to human health, nor do they significantly contribute to medical advances. 2. If we didn't use animals, we'd have to test new drugs on people. The reality is we already do test new drugs on people. They're called trials. No matter how many experiments on animals are performed, humans will inevitably be tested on. Because animal tests are so unreliable, they make those human trials all the more risky. The National Institute of Health has also stated that 95% of the drugs that are shown to be safe and effective in animal tests fail in human trials because they just don't work or are dangerous. 3. We have to observe the complex cells, organs, and tissues in living animals. Psychological reactions to drugs vary tremendously from species to species and even within a species. Penicillin, an antibiotic or a group of antibiotics produced naturally by certain blue molds and not usually prepared synthetically, kills guinea pigs but is inactive in rabbits. Aspirin, a very common anti-inflammatory medicine, kills cats and causes birth defects in rats, mice, guinea pigs, dogs, and monkeys. And morphine, which is a depressant in humans, stimulates goats, cats, and horses. Plus, animals in labs typically exhibit actions and behaviors demonstrating extreme psychological distress, and experimenters recognize that the use of these stressed out animals jeopardizes the accuracy of the data collected. The fourth and final myth we're going to bust is that animals help fight against cancer. Through taxes, donations, and private funding, Americans have spent hundreds of billions of dollars on cancer research since 1971. However, the return on that investment has been uninviting and quite depressing. A survey of 4,451 experimental cancer drugs developed between 2003 and 2011 found more than 93% failed after entering the first phase of human clinical trials, even though all had been tested successfully on animals. The authors of this study point out that the animal models of human cancer created through, such as grafting human tumors onto mice, can be poor predictors of how a drug will work in humans. Next time you purchase a drug or product, check to make sure that it's cruelty-free due to the inefficient, unnecessary, harmful, dangerous, disgusting, and immoral tests performed on these animals.